Money man Lance Hokut joins us now from Lance Hokut Financial Group for Get Out of Debt Q&A Friday. How are you, man? And roll tide to you.
I am better than I deserve. Roll tide, baby.
Good to see you. I wanted to mention we were talking to Mayor Walt Maddox earlier this morning, who was telling us that 2 local establishments were cited last night for violating the COVID rules. Now, he would not reveal which 2. I tried my best. But he said the Tuscaloosa Police Department would be releasing the names of them later today. So a couple of bars busted last night, apparently.
I'm sure that's going to happen for a little bit until we kind of settle this thing down.
He said eyes will be on all the establishments, which most of them follow the rules, he said. This weekend, of course, with the first home game in T-Town.
Was it capacity issues or mask?
I think it was capacity issues. Yeah, I think it was.
People are ready to have entertainment. They're ready to get outside and do some stuff. And
no doubt.
Unfortunately, some of this is shutting down again.
That's what happens. The president and the first lady, big news this morning, breaking news, testing positive for COVID. They are going to quarantine. President Trump's doctor says he expects a quick and full recovery, and the president will be working while he's in quarantine. I wanted to ask you, Lance, this morning, first thing, what do we anticipate with the stock market?
Well, it's down. We were down 400 points earlier this morning, down only about 200 right now. It's really a dose of reality of what's happening in our economy. When it reaches all the way to the highest of our government, then you're kind of going, oh, yeah, this is real.
Yeah.
And if you've not been impacted personally by it, you may have seen somebody, but when you see that level, and he's a list of other government dignitaries that have had it.
Sure.
Boris over in UK,
right.
Several others have had it as well. So.
But it will impact the stock market.
It is impacting right now
already.
And I think, and again, I'm not a negative Nelly, but I think all this dose of reality is starting to sink in of job layoffs. I mean, we saw this week, Disney laid off 28,000.
28,000 people.
And that's probably one of the largest layoffs in recent history. You've got the airlines who both United and American both laid off tens of thousands each. You've got so many negative things out there that it's just up. Look, the savings rate. We saw the savings rate increase greatly. Guess what? It has reversed significantly because what happened is everybody paid down their debt with the COVID money.
Oh, I see.
So your savings rate goes up also. Well, the last month you saw credit increases.
Right.
So that went positive again, and you also saw the savings rate decrease. So what does that tell you? People are not getting income, so they're having to live off of what they paid down and live off of the savings that they had.
Makes sense. By the way, the vice president has tested negative. They put that word out pretty fast out of the White House this morning.
Did you say there were aircraft not scrambled, but there were 2 communications aircraft on the east and west coast that are typically designed to communicate with our subs? Those were suddenly, and what they do is they have a transponder that says, hey, we're out here.
Right.
Normally those are off because you don't want everybody to know where the military is.
Right.
They were broadcasting. I wonder if it was a show of, hey, our president may have this, but we got you back.
We're here. That's interesting.
It's cool stuff.
Yeah, that
kind of gives me chills.
I was about to say the same thing. Me too, man.
It hit the news wires early, too.
I did not know that. Makes me proud to be an American.
That's exactly right.
We got questions this morning, and I know you got answers. I think some good questions. We grabbed 3 off the app at 95.3 The Bear. That's how you get a question on the radio and answered by Lance Hokut. Tap that app, 95.3 The Bear. First one is from Maddie. Thank you for listening, Maddie. We appreciate it. She says, should I pay off my credit card balance in full every month?
As long as you're not using and building this credit card balance consistently, I like to do that. I like to have that debt as low as possible. Now, don't close it. There is a negative connotation when you go and pay it off and then close that credit card. I don't know why.
That would surprise a lot of people.
It does surprise. It surprises me.
Yeah.
But if you talk to some bankers, they're going to tell you. My buddy down at Benson Bowling, he will tell you, don't go and pay that thing off because there's something negative about when you close that account. So pay it down. Yes, pay 0, but don't go and close that puppy.
Good advice, Maddie. Hope that helps you out. Here's a basic question, but it's a good one. Tom says, I'm young and want to know what's on my credit report. How can I see it?
There are a lot of free credit reporting agencies out there. Credit Karma is one that I hear and see all the time. I like the Experian, the TransUnion. Those are the Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. Those are the 3 credible that you can pay a very nominal fee to go. And I think you can go and pull that once a year, even with those credit agencies as well, and not pay anything.
Lance, these services that advertise, let us help you repair your credit, get things off your credit report, all that kind of stuff. Is there anything to what they're offering to do, or can you do it without them?
You can. And Steve, we talk about this all the time. What I do every day is not rocket science. Okay? Let's just boil it down. It's not rocket science. But what we do provide is consistency. All right? You're going to go and look at your 401k once every 6 months. I'm going to do it every day. I'm going to watch this. So to that point, those guys are getting paid to go and remove stuff off of your credit, where you could sit down over a weekend, take the time and go do that yourself. Most of it is just cleaning up some of the old stuff that the dots have not been connected. So is it easy? No. And I'm not going to say it's difficult either, but it's going to just take you time.
Do they charge you an arm and a leg?
Oh, yes, they do.
Of course they do.
Yeah, it's not free.
Yeah, so it's better to do it yourself if you can.
I think everybody has the capability and the knowledge to go do that with the technology at our fingertips today. But you just got to have the time to go do it, and the want to go do it.
Yeah, Matt hit us up yesterday afternoon with a question for you. He says, "How can I get good health insurance? My job does not offer it." That's a good question.
That is a good question, especially with the Obamacare and all the stuff that's going on in our country today. There are a lot of really good healthcare providers. Now, in the state of Alabama, we're kind of encumbered by Big Blue, okay? So that they have the market, but there are really quality healthcare providers outside of that. Let's go to, there are a couple of insurance companies that will write you health care coverage. I know, and again, not paid endorsement, it could be, but Alpha is one of those. They are actually the marketing arm of Blue Cross at an individual level. Okay. So as an individual, this listener could go out straight to Alpha and say, hey, find me a life or a health insurance policy, and they can do that. So Blue Cross just markets through those guys. You can't pick up the phone and call Big Blue and say, hey, I want insurance. They're going to refer you back to Alpha to do that.
So that's a good place to go. That's great advice for you, Matt. Hope that helps you out.
Look, and by the way, your individual circumstance will dictate how much insurance you need. There are a lot of indemnification policies out there. There are a lot of high deductible policies out there. So go and look at that. And those guys and gals are really trained at doing that. So make sure you're asking the questions, okay, how could I lower that monthly premium, especially if you've got some assets, that cash reserve I talk about all the time.
Yeah. And by the way, I just want to, for the record, I want to be clear this morning. You said a moment ago, Lance, that what you do is not rocket science. I just want everybody to know that what I do is rocket science.
Hey, you've got 3 computer screens in front of you, so I don't have anything but a phone and a mic.
Yeah, but there's TikTok, YouTube. I don't know what the other one is.
Steve-O, I love Fridays. Get to come in and see you and hang out with the team here. Thank y'all so much for letting us come on every week, and look forward to a Roll Tide.
Absolutely, a big one. I do one more thing before you go, Lance. I want to mention some news that we didn't like hearing out of Hale County this morning. Tell us about
we got told last night that all sports at Hale County are canceled until further notice. Wow. It's not for the rest of the year. It's just all sports, no practice, no nothing. And I'm thankful that the board is considering all the issues. It'd have been nice to have a little bit more input or dialogue about it, other than, hey, we're canceling the game tomorrow night. Yeah. But I understand they've got to protect their children, and I respect that greatly.
I understand too, but I hate it for the kids, man.
Yes, sir. They had a good thing going, and hopefully we can still stay in the playoff tournament with that.
Absolutely. Lance Hocutt, everybody. Again, LanceHocutt.com if you want to make contact.
That's exactly right. 205-345-9733. And remember, the Lance Hocutt Financial Group is an independent firm, and we clear through SA Stone Wealth Management. God bless. Roll Tide.
God bless. Roll Tide. Thank you so much, Lance Hocutt, everybody. Thank you so much, Lance Hocutt.